Hi, everyone. My name is Lexi, and I'm the program coordinator for the Millionaire Mastermind Academy. Welcome, and thank you for signing on today. I would like to welcome up Dr. Velma Trayham on this very special Martin Luther King Jr. Day. She will be our host, and she's also the founder of Millionaire Mastermind Academy. And our guest speaker today is Tera Stidum as well. So I will let Dr. Velma tell you a little bit more about her, and we will dive right in.
Going on. Hi, happy Monday, happy MLK Day. Today is a wonderful day and I'm excited. It looks like we're having some technical difficulties with our volume here. Obviously, today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Dr. Martin Luther King would have been 93 years old today, would have been 93 years old. We all know that on August the 28th, 1963, Dr. King delivered a speech to more than 250,000 people in Washington, D.C. And guess what, ladies? The now famous speech, I have a dream. I have a dream. I don't know about you, but having a dream is powerful to me. Having a dream is very, very powerful to me. So I want to take a brief moment to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the sacrifice that we're now living in right now. The freedom. Dr. Martin Luther King fought for freedom and equality. And so today is a day that I honor, and I'm sure you honor as well, because there's a lot of things that's happening right now as a direct reflection of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Sacrifices and what he stood for. So 93 years old. 93, wow. Sometimes I wonder, how am I gonna look at 93 years old? How am I gonna look when I turn 95? How am I gonna look when I turn 45? How am I gonna look when I turn 50? I don't know. But anyway, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So it is near and dear to my heart because I have a dream too. And I hope that you all have a dream. My dream is that one day, minority women and African-American women, that we will rise above poverty through entrepreneurship. That is my dream. And I will have that dream and I will continue to walk it out and continue to sacrifice daily to ensure that when I'm no longer here, that you'll be able to have something that will change the trajectory of your children's children life. So today I'm super excited to have a discussion with one of my amazing dear friends out of Houston, Texas. Y'all know H-Town, Houston. I'm super excited to have a conversation with my amazing friend, Tera Stidum. She is the creator of a company called She Dates Savvy. She wrote a book a few years back. And when I tell you, I was just blown away with the name of the book. The book is titled Smart Girls Don't Date Dumb. Smart Girls Don't Date Dumb. Look, y'all, Tera is absolutely amazing. She is a creator. She has a heart for God. She has a heart for women. She has a heart for equality. She has a heart for justice. she has a heart to see women walking in their in what we believe we should walk in, because as women sometimes we get a little distracted, but you know what, she it's people like her that helps us to stay on course, right? I mean, there are some times that I had to call Tera up and like, yo, listen, this is crazy, friend. I need some help. I need some help now. You know, my fiance and I, we're good. And so, but that was a time where like I had hell, you know, and Tera was the person that I could pick up the phone and call. And so this is not just someone that's just here today, but I want you all to drop some fire in the chat. I want you all to help me to welcome up my friend, Tera Stidum. Welcome, Tera.
Hi, ladies. Hi, Dr. Velma. Hi, everybody. How's everyone doing? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have two things to say before we get started. One, something is trying to take over. So if you hear me coughing, I apologize. Two, today is a holiday, which means my 3-year-old is home from school. He won't go now for his nap. So if y'all hear anything in the background, just, you know, put your mommy ears on and ignore it. But that's what I wanted to say. But I'm so thrilled to be here with you all on today. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about this discussion, and God makes no mistakes. Look at this. So I've been up drinking my tonic and I grabbed a mug, wasn't paying attention. This is actually a mug from the King Center when my family and I went there in 2016 during our family reunion, which was in Atlanta. So I think this means we're going to have a great time talking today. The fact that I am sitting here with my King mug on, and I just grabbed it. Like I wasn't even paying attention to what I grabbed. So I think it's a sign that this is going to be fire for this fireside chat.
Yes, Tera, and I'm excited to have you. We're going to dive right in. But you know what, Tera, it's been so long. And so every time I see your beautiful face, your energy, you know, I know that, you know, something is going to happen and a breakthrough is going to happen. You know, Tera, share with us the disaster. Let's start with the disaster first of the decisions in which women make with the wrong mate and how that can lead down a wrong path.
Wow. So we starting off, y'all, as I said, shots fired, right? We're starting off with shots fired. So because I understand how personal these things are for women and no one wants to be called out, I'll use myself as an example. Like you said, my book is called Smart Girls Don't Date Dumb. Part 2 of the book was Smart Girls Still Don't Date Dumb, because I had to update them on how my life had changed over those years. But in my book, I discussed my years of dating dumb. And for me, the disaster was being with someone I was absolutely unequally yoked with. Okay. He was not my person. Nice guy, good guy. There was nothing wrong with him. He just was not the man that God had designed for me. But I had gotten comfortable. Raise your hand if you've ever been in something and you got comfortable with it and you're like, you know what, I might as well just stick around and stay in it. I see you, Amber. Amber's like, right? Been there, done that. And so it just got comfortable. And 1 year led to 2 years, led to 3 years, led to 4 years. Yeah. See, Amber's like, yeah, 4 years later. And I was like, this is dumb. Like, this is making no sense. And what I realized when we talk about the disaster, so I know God makes no mistakes. I know that everything was a part of my destiny, but I know that there was heartache and pain and tears that I went through that was so unnecessary because I was trying to make something work. So when it comes to sharing stories, I share my own because I want ladies to know I'm not a dating expert that's sitting and saying, oh, I would never do that. And so you need to do it this way. No, it's like, girl, I've been there. Let me tell you, don't do what I did. Right. So I think that for so many women, especially the women that I work with who are professional women, single women, moms, some are widowed, some are just, coming out of a divorce. Picking up the pieces after that disaster is so vital, and it's why I do what I do. So I think that when we talk about the disaster, I use my own of spending way too many years in something that I should not have been in, only to literally the minute I let it go, we broke up on a Saturday. I went online on a Sunday and sent a message to the man who would be my husband. So we talk about timing and, again, letting things go. It was all, I had to go through that disaster to get to where I am right now. But if I can do anything to help ladies speed up their process, that's why I do what I do.
That is absolutely amazing, Tera. And you know what? Let's. Why do you help single professional women? That now that's the key. That's the question there. Single professional women.
Because again, I've been there, I've done it. And what I've found is that these are the women who are so high achieving, right? They check all the boxes. They can do all of the things. They are powerhouses in their own right. But when it comes to dating, most of them have spent time getting advanced careers. So that means spending their 20s and even some of their 30s out of the dating market. A lot of the women that I work with are maybe divorced now. Maybe they got married in their 20s and now they're late 40s or even 50s or 60s. And then they're like, wait a minute, what's this whole dating thing? So because I know for a lot of professional women, we don't make time to date. They became my target audience because truly I was one of them. I was a single mom. I was working in TV production, working round the clock, crazy hours. And so I know what that plight feels like. Of course, not having a lot of time, but then for those women, because they are so high achieving, sometimes it's hard for them to admit, I need some help with dating, right? Because they're like, wait a minute. I know how to save a company $100 million. I know how to, make this much. I know how to do this in business. But when it comes to love, they feel that it should just come naturally to them. And so I think them seeing me as a woman who was very much so like them, it helps them say, oh, it's okay to ask for help. So that's why that is my target audience, because I know they need me more than any other ladies out there.
Yeah, you're right. Because when I was single, I sure was on your line. I was calling. And I was asking questions like, Tera, what you think about this scallywag? Let me tell you what.
True. And she knows I keep it real. Yeah. And having someone who's not going to judge you, right? Because there are some people who would probably look down on those women and say, oh my God, you're this professional woman. Don't you know better when it comes to, and it's like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. Tera, and this is going to be a little deep, but we got to get a little deep sometimes. Right. So, I went through this very bad relationship, and you remember because I called you and I realized that it was a soul tie. It was a soul tie. And I had to go through a lot to prune myself from that soul tie. Can you talk a little bit about what a soul tie in a bad relationship is?
Absolutely. So when it comes to soul ties, there are connections that you make with people that even when you're not with them at that moment, they are still connected. Like they have gotten into your soul, like deeply penetrated in your soul. And so a lot of folks are saying like, oh, well, I broke up with him, but I can't seem to move on. There's still a connection there, right? So even though this person is no good for you, and 6 months down the line, 1:30 a.m., he calls you out of the blue to see what you're doing. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, you can come over. There's a connection there that has to be broken. And so many women don't want to acknowledge it. You talked about going through a whole process of having to literally go in and purify yourself of that. I want you to share some of the things you did to do that, because I don't think a lot of ladies recognize that, excuse me, sometimes you have to go through a process after a breakup. And it's not just always going to be the mental side, it's purifying your heart and your spirit and your soul. What were some of the things that you did?
Yeah, that's a great question. The first thing I did was I got on my knees and I began to pray and I began to ask God, what do I need to do to purify myself? I then went on a fast. I went on a very powerful fast where I pushed my plate back for 7 days. I then began to see things a little different. And I blocked all communications, no social media, put email on spam, blocked off my phone. I blocked myself from any access portals, so that I could really, really heal. And then last but not least, I had to forgive myself and heal from what I put myself through. Because a lot of times we try to play the blame game, but see, I put myself there. So I had to give myself permission to heal.
I'm so happy you said that, because that was where I was going next, right? Because it's so easy for us to put the blame on everyone else, right? And say, oh, well, he did this and he was this kind of guy and this was that. And we never stop to take a reflection and say, what could I have done differently? What did I do to contribute to this relationship? How did I show up, which made this man feel I was going to allow this type of behavior and treatment? And that's the part that I don't see a lot of women wanting to take stock of, right? Because it's come on, let's be honest. It's so easy to say, no, you did this to me, right? Like, you did this to me and this is why it didn't work, instead of saying, oh, maybe I should have communicated better in that moment. And so I love being able to, one of the things that I've done in this last year and a half or two, like definitely since 2020, is started with holistic coaching, right? Not just going straight to the dating, because not everybody's ready to go to the dating. No. Dating is not just that. That is not where we start for everyone. And I did a really powerful series last year called Savvy Girls Fall in Love. And when I started marketing it, I was like, this is going to be the best course to get you ready for love. And the thing is, it wasn't about a man. It was about them going in and doing all of their internal work to get ready. Because for a lot of women, sometimes you're carrying issues from childhood, mommy issues, daddy issues. Sometimes you haven't forgiven yourself for something you did when you were 18, 19, or 20 years old. Like, you're still carrying around all of that hurt, all of that shame, that disappointment. And then it shows up when you're 40 years old, trying to be in a relationship with someone. And so I like for my ladies to go back, and I call it a relationship autopsy. Like, I want you to go back and look at those relationships you've been in. And much like you just said, stop and take stock of what it is that you did, right? You can't change what you don't own. And so I really, I love that you said that, because I was definitely going to go there as far as like taking inventory. So putting them in position to really be able to say, you know what? Part of it was me. I was the problem. So there is that.
Yeah. And that's interesting, because a lot of women don't like to take accountability. We want to take accountability for things. And so, Tera, what's the biggest challenge for single professional women in the dating?
So I love that question. So when we talk about them getting out there, a lot of them are just afraid. A lot of them are really just afraid. I read a quote the other day. I think it was, let me see, I'm going to pull it up, because I did a screenshot of it, because I know I want to use it later, because it's stuff that I've talked about with my ladies. And it comes from a place of fear. So Bozoma St. James, she is over Netflix. She's a super powerful woman, right? Super powerful sister out there, just doing amazing things in life. And she's a widow. And she's a widow. She's got, I think her daughter's like 11 or 12. And her husband died when the baby was probably a year or two. Very sad. He had cancer. So really sad story. She might be 40, like she's young. But she did an article recently, and I want to say it was in the Wall Street Journal. I'm trying to pull it up now. But one of the things that she talked about was when it came to finding love, it was easier for her not to try it because she couldn't control it. She couldn't control it. She says, in my career, I'm going to be fearless because it's on her, right? This is a woman who has worked for Apple, for Uber, and she's now over at Netflix, right? She's a super powerful, like bad girl. However, when it came to love, she's like, And so I have the quote here, and she says, I do know how to get what I want out of my career. I don't know how to do that in love. It's very painful and scary. And that is what the biggest challenge is for these professional women, because they think something is wrong with them when they look at the fact that, wait a minute, I went to school for 8 years. I am a doctor. People trust me with their lives. Okay. What do you mean I can't go online? Or what do you mean I can't go out and socialize and meet someone? Surely it shouldn't be that hard. I'm a doctor. Like, I'm smart enough that people trust me with their lives. And so for most of them, instead of just admitting that challenge, they would rather not engage at all. They'll say, no, I'm not worried about the dating part of it. Because again, it's not based on what they know or how hard they work or their efforts. And that's the part that a lot of women cannot come to terms with. So I think that's their biggest challenge, is no matter how hard they work at it, it still may not work out the way they want at that time.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Tera, do you think that a challenge can be like not knowing what you don't know? And I'm gonna tell you where I'm going with this. I had a couple of the women from the mastermind that sent me private messages. One of them said, I know that I need to be on the Zoom, but I'm embarrassed for what, may come up because I know some things, but I don't want to know some things. And then I received another message. A young lady asked if I could send her the recording afterwards because she felt bad about something and it would not allow her to be on the Zoom. And and I started to think, I'm like, this is the second person, and just FYI, and I hope this is okay with you, but we're going to send this out to thousands of women, Tera, because when I heard, when those two people reached out and
think about how many that didn't reach out.
That's what I'm saying. So why? So the question is, why? Do you know why?
Yeah. So I think it goes back to what I just said. The first lady who said, I'm embarrassed, right? Because for some reason, we just think we should know how to do love, dating, and relationships for some reason, right? But it's just not the truth. It's just not the truth. And if we talk about things from a societal standpoint, people don't necessarily make you feel good when you've made mistakes in love. Okay. You and I know that people like to throw up your past and, oh, I thought you had, and you were put, right? And so for a lot of folks, you've been through that. And so when you think about, I don't even want nobody to know. That's where part of that embarrassment comes in, right? So the embarrassment of not another failed whatever, not another failed relationship, situationship, or whatever you want to call it. The embarrassment of, God, I should really know this, right? Because what do, y'all? We sit in rooms, and for the most part, there are a lot of us that don't know the answer, but won't raise our hand saying, hey, I don't understand. Can you explain that to me? I'm too old at this point to go through anything that I don't understand. I'm going to ask questions. But because we haven't been conditioned that it's okay to say you don't know. If you think about it like this, in a work context, if someone were to come to you and say, Dr. Velma, can you give me the information on da. So many people, I'm not gonna just put this on women, so many people would make up an answer instead of saying, oh, you know what? I'm not sure. Let me get back to you. Because they think that it's a personal affront or attack to them that they don't know the answer or how to do something. And so I think that's where that embarrassment comes from, where it's like, oh, I shouldn't need to be over here. Surely I shouldn't need help. And that's why I lead with, obviously I lead with love. But bigger than anything, I don't force my platform down the throat of women. My approach is, baby, I'm here if you need me. I'm here when you're ready. Because I understand for some women, you got to go through some stuff to even, it happens all the time. Do you know how many women I have who watch me? Okay, watch me for years. And then they finally say, oh, okay, I'm ready. And I'm like, wait, how long you been over there? Girl, I've been watching you since 2019. What? And I one time, this lady, this was in 2020, she told me, this was during a consultation call, she's like, you just agitate me. And I was like, excuse me? Because I think I'm very likable. What do you mean? She said, because every time I go on there, you saying something about me. And I was like, whoa. She's talking about on Instagram, right? And I said, well, how long? Like, what? She says, no, every time. She's like, she's like, every time. It's just like, you own my street. You're just talking to me. And I'm like, I get it. But she, again, was one of those people who have been watching. And so even though I'm not one of those people who teaches from a point your finger like, oh, and y'all, that's not me. You know that is not me at all. But there's something about, again, like these two women, they know they need to be here. And it's okay that you're not. It is absolutely okay that you're not, because we're still going to hold space for you. But if you take nothing from this, please know that you have nothing to be embarrassed about. It is okay to say, look, I need a little help. Look, I need to work through some things. Look, I need to forgive myself. Look, I need to heal, right? It's okay to say that and then do the work. That's the big part. And then do the work. We can't just stay there stuck. You can't stay there stuck. So I think, I believe and know that's why they aren't here. Because it's like church. You know, when you go to church and you get uncomfortable, you be like, oh, that pastor, he up there a long time. He need to sit down, because he's talking about you. Like, he's convicting you to do what you know should be next, which is move towards action. So I hope whoever does watch this knows, first of all, it's done and coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of sincerity. And everything that we're talking about today is only to help you be a better you. Nothing that we've said is about, oh, go date. Honestly, I could care less if you go date, if it's versus you getting better, you healing. So they say, Tara, what you want them to do? You want women to date or heal? Heal. Every day, all day. Mm-hmm. Because dating and all that other stuff will come once you are healed.
Wow. Very, very powerful. Healing is a whole powerful topic in itself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women don't heal, and they go from relationship to relationship, and the baggage continues to add up.
They're masking wounds. You can't heal what you keep covering. You know how, like, literally with a flesh wound, sometimes you got to take the bandage off and let it dry. For a lot of ladies, they continue to put new bandage, new dressing, and all this stuff, and it stays moist and wet, and it never heals. It never heals because you got to let it dry out. You got to let it dry out. And I think that for a lot of ladies, when you think about what they've been through and what those past experiences are, they're just covering up with Band-Aids, years of hurt, years of betrayal, years of dysfunction, instead of saying, yo, I need to get in here, put some peroxide on this wound, clean it all the way out, let it dry out, let it start scabbing around the side, let it start closing up, get the little pink part on there, healed again, refresh, and then start moving forward. So your healing is vital.
Wow. So very, very important. I was thinking about, and my heart goes out to the women that feel as though they need a man to have happiness.
Yep.
So for me, I had to find happiness within. So see, because happiness starts within, it doesn't matter what man you're with or what relationship you're in. If you're not happy within, then you're going to continue to repeat the same cycles. And so for me, I had to become happy within. So for me, man or not, Velma is going to be happy. Okay. Period. You know what I mean?
Period.
But there was a time, Tera, where I felt as though having a man validated who I was. But I've gotten to the point where, you know what, let me figure out how to be happy internally, how to make Velma happy, so that whatever relationship I enter into, it's just icing on a cake. I'm not going into a relationship looking for happiness. You know what I mean? And it's so interesting because my fiance and I, we get along so good, because it's like, ain't nothing you gonna do that's gonna make me mad. You know, he might feel like he on the Zoom, he the only man on the Zoom, stalking the Zoom today, but it's cool. But anyway, like I said, like I'm saying, like, he can't make me mad because Velma is happy internally, you know. And so we have got to have accountability for our own peace and happiness.
Absolutely. So remember back in the day when people, you say, I'm just looking for somebody to complete me. And it's like, you got to be a whole finished project over there on your own. It's okay that you're still under construction and you might be revitalizing one room and you might be remodeling another. That's fine, because we should all be progressing as people, right? We should all be continuing to evolve. But at the same time, no one is going to be able to complete you. It just should absolutely not be what you're looking for. And that's why I like working with a group of ladies I get to work with, because for most of them, they have checked all those boxes and they're like, you know what? I'm finally ready to have someone in my space in my life, because I have these other things and I have me and my peace. And they're very clear. Very clear. Now, I'm not going to have anybody over here disturbing my peace.
Okay.
And I understand that's also why a lot of ladies stay single, because they're like, no, what you're not going to do is disrupt the flow of harmony that I have. Amber, can I get a click? They're like, I'm not going to let you disrupt my flow and my harmony. So I get it. I completely get it. Someone dropped a question in the chat and I like it. They said, hi, Lauren De Leon. She asked the question, what are the red flags and green flags when it comes to dating? So I could go through a whole laundry list of flags, right? However, I want to make sure that you are exercising your gut, okay? And I know that sounds like, well, wait, what's she talking about?
Exercising your gut.
Exercising your gut. There's not been any situation that you've ever been in your life that if you look back at it, your gut didn't tell you about it. I'll wait. Amber. Amber. And I don't mean to keep calling you out, but I see if we look back, if we go back and read the tea leaves, as they say, you're like, oh, yeah, I kind of saw that. So I don't want to mess up the Zoom with that call. So the first thing I would say is absolutely, thank you, Sharon. Sharon said, So first thing I would say is listen to what your gut is really telling you about a situation, right? So when we think about red flags, what are some of the things that people do as red flags? Someone who makes you feel bad about who you are, what you do, what you have, that's a red flag, right? Someone who does not respect your boundaries, that's a big old red flag. And boundaries can be in all different kind of ways, right? Someone who does not want the same thing that you want. That's a red flag, because how many times have we tried to put our feet in shoes that we know don't fit? How many times, right? And so if you know that what they're saying they want is not what you want, that's a red flag, because we don't want to spend our time wasting our time. Someone who is not consistent with their word, big old red flag. Big old red flag. And I unfortunately, in the space that my ladies work with the online dating, we have situations and challenges where sometimes there are people who, maybe a guy says, oh, I'm going to call you. And then you don't hear from him, right? And it's like, oh, okay, it's a red flag. And I'll give everybody a pass. But if this person is consistently inconsistent with his communication, that's a red flag. As far as green flags go, I would say anyone who is absolutely doing everything that they say they are going to do, right? Whether it's from communication, whether it's from time spent. I love the green flag of someone who's actually interested in what you have going on, who wants to be a part of your life and is not, again, when we go back to the red flag of making you feel bad about what you do, who you are, what you have, but instead is someone who's intrigued by you. And the biggest green flag is someone who makes you feel comfortable, right? So we're not questioning our gut, and you're not like, your tummy is not doing flip-flops and you're trying to act like you don't feel it, right? We're talking about the one that just brings you peace and calm. So off the top of my head, those would be my red flag, green flags. See, I saw something dropping in the chat.
Wow.
Yeah,
You had some great, we don't want to spend our time wasting our time. Amber said that exercise your gut is your next book. Exercise your gut. Now that was powerful, Tera. I felt that in my gut. Like literally, I felt it.
So often we don't. We don't. We just, it's like it, you feel it, and then you just ignore it. And it's like, why? Why? We got it.
Yeah. So Lexi asks, what are your tips for weeding out people when online dating? When are you being too shallow and not being open to getting to know someone versus settling and wasting your time?
I love this question. I love this question because I love the second part of it. Hold on, where you said, when are you being too shallow and not being open to getting to know someone versus settling and wasting your time? Great question. So the place where I see so many women pass up good potentials is when it comes to height. Let's talk about it, ladies. Let's be honest. Okay, Amber, baby, I see you. That's okay, but we're going to get gathered today, girlfriend. I see so many incredible and amazing men online. And because I work for the people, I got to pass them up because they're like, I don't want no short man. Right. And so if you are looking at a man and everything else checks out, every single thing else checks out, but the only thing that you're kind of on the fence is, and these, especially, because these are sometimes women who are like a little short. Now I do attract tall women to me. I am 5'8". I have tall ladies who are attracted to me, even though they don't know how tall I am. Right. So that's one thing. But if you're 5'4" and you see a guy who's like 5'8", girl, you're fine. You could still wear 4-inch heels and be eye to eye with him. Even if you say, I'm 5'8" and he's 5'8", you never know. He might have the confidence of a giant. So therefore, this guy is not going to be bothered by the fact that, oh my God, she's 5'8" and when she wears heels, she's going to be, no, you just don't know. So I think that height is probably one of the biggest shallow areas in dating. Okay. I've dated short, tall, so y'all can't call me out. Y'all can't be like, yeah, but your husband's tall. Yes, but I've dated a short man before. Like, you get it? Like, you can't call me out. So I think that's one of the places where if we had to be lenient on our shallow, I definitely would say, try that height out, right? Like, let that loosen up your height range a little bit, because you never know, you might be missing out on an incredible man. Even when it comes down to the race and ethnicity. Again, and I understand people like who and what they like, but every now and again, someone's going to come your way and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And surely wasn't expecting it in that package. Being open, right? So that was to part 2 of the question, right? Like being shallow. Now, I don't believe in settling. No, I do not believe in settling, but I want you to gut check yourself. If you scroll past a picture and you say, oh, I don't like him because I don't like his shirt, check yourself. Check yourself. That's because that's not settling. People, you go to Nordstrom Rack and buy him a shirt and change the whole game up if he's a good guy. But I say this in sincerity because I'm online all the time with ladies shopping and we see stuff and they're like, Tara, I don't like his shirt. I don't like, really? Everything was well written in his profile. He seems like a nice gentleman. Why are we stopping on the shirt? Absolutely, we don't believe in settling. So it's not about settling, but I definitely want to shake up some of the requirements that are keeping you all from finding success online. Okay, so that's part 2 of the question. So when it comes to weeding out, my favorite thing to do with my ladies, profiles tell a story, right? And if you've ever been online, you know, sometimes they tell a whole lot of story. Sometimes they tell barely any story. And so when a guy has not put any type of effort into his profile, that kind of goes in my red flag category, right? Because, hello, sir, we're here on this online dating app. This is the only way. And this is the only way I'm going to get to know you in this moment. Put your best foot forward. So we have definitely scrolled by guys who put nothing on their profile but a picture, because you're kind of showing me what effort you're putting into dating altogether. And that's not what we're interested in. Pictures tell stories. Some guys do a great job of great pictures, you know, from the professional shots to the active shots. And then you have the guys who have the picture of them in the front seat of their car holding their liquor bottle. If that's not the the jam that you're on, like if that's not your jam, that's not your guy, right? Another thing when it comes to weeding out, the biggest thing that I see happening to a lot of women is someone reaches out to you and then you feel stuck. You're like, oh my God, this guy reached out to me and I don't know what to do and I don't like it. If you don't like him, you don't have to respond. That's the beautiful benefit of online dating. It's not like going out to a social event and someone tagging you like, oh, that one, she's mine, and then following you around the event for the rest of the night. No, with online dating, you can block them, you can report them. And of course, that's if they do something that is inappropriate. I don't believe in blocking people's profiles just because you don't like them, but you can block them from your view, right? So when it comes to weeding out, again, see what those pictures are telling you, see what that bio is telling you. So many women don't actually read the entire bio. What do? We see a picture and we say, oh, he's cute, I like him. And then you're messaging him without knowing, yeah, he's cute, but he also says that he doesn't want any children. And you know in your heart you do. So you all are not a match, right? So weeding out is really going to be about paying attention to what's presented. And when it comes to those things that sometimes are a bit shallow, I would absolutely say don't be afraid to look in the most unlikely of places for your matches. Oh, I could talk about that all day.
Tara, when I tell you, like, literally, you are given all the game. If I wasn't taken, I will feel so empowered by this conversation. Like, if I wasn't taken, I would just be like, yo, what's up with your bio? You know, what's up with what you know what I mean? Like,
And
what's
that's why
going
I
on?
do it. That's why I do it, because I think that for a lot of ladies, remember, we're already embarrassed that we're like, oh, I don't know how to date. Oh, I should be so much smarter than this. And then they go online and they're like, what is this? What is this? This is not the place for me. And there's so many reasons why that is. They might be on the wrong dating site. Most of the time they are. They haven't positioned themselves even with a great enough profile to attract good attention versus just the ones who you're like, sir, no, you did not think you had a chance with me. So this is why I enjoy. Yeah, they pop up. Amber, listen, when I tell y'all I have seen everything in these 5 years of working with women, I have seen any and everything. And I'm always more shocked and amazed. Like each year, I'm like, I've never seen this before. Like, what is going on here? But that's why I do it, because I know that it can be a viable solution to not wanting to go out to every single party, every event or whatever. And so if you know what you're doing, the likelihood of you sticking around longer is much higher.
Wow, that's awesome. And Tara, what encouragement do you have for those women who are finally opening themselves up to date again, again and again and again.
Exactly. Because, we have to go through some things before we find our person. I mean, prayers to the ladies. One of the reasons that I do not share that my husband was only one of two guys that I messaged when we met is because I don't want to be misleading, right? I don't want someone to say like, oh my God, you went online and the first message you sent, this guy ended up to be that was that time. That was not the whole totality of my online dating experience. And so the biggest thing is that going into it with realistic expectations. I am very clear that if a woman comes to me and says, oh, I'm ready to find my husband, I'm like, I'm not your coach. Because I can't promise you that. I'm never, ever going to promise a woman that. Do I have clients who've met their men online? Mm-hmm. Have they gotten married? Mm-hmm. But I don't sell that because I know that that is not the norm, right? And so why would I sell that to women? Because when you go online and you're like, I ain't see nobody over here looking like husband potential, it makes you feel like something is wrong with you, right? And so we talk about getting back out there. Again, go into it with managed expectations. Some ladies, and I'm gonna just go and say this and y'all can get mad at me. Some of y'all been single so long, you don't even know what you're looking for. You've been single so long, you don't even know what you're looking for. So my clients, I have them do what I call practice dates, like almost like throwaway dates. Now, a practice date is always going to be with someone who checks some good boxes. I said it, Sharon. Mm-hmm. Sharon, no, I'm on her street. And Sharon, that's okay, because we'll live next door to one another. And I'm going to come over and I'm going to help you till you get to the other side of it, right? And it's the truth. So here's the thing. For so many women, you've not been out in so long. Nobody's talked to you on the phone in so long. You don't even know what it feels like to get cute for a date. And so the idea that you're going to go online and say, oh my God, I'm going to meet no. But it's okay to date for fun and not just the one. Like, I need us to feel it in our spirit. It's okay to date for fun and not just the one. So because I'm so laser focused, when it comes to our careers, we're never going for the job underneath the one that's listed, right? We want that one, that position. And unfortunately for dating, we have the same mindset. Instead of saying, okay, maybe I don't want that vice president position because gosh, that's going to ask for a lot of me. If I come in right underneath it, I can get in there and I can learn a whole lot so that when it is open in another 2 years, I can move forward, be the top picking candidate because they're like, wait, Dr. V, she's been over here for the last 2 years. She knows the system inside and out. So putting yourself in a place to just kind of get out there and find out what you want. Because for a lot of the ladies I talk to, they've either been out of the dating market because they've been raising children, they were previously married for decades, or they were in school and, managing their careers. What you wanted in your 20s is not what you want in your 40s and 50s and 60s, right? And you're only going to know that when you get back out there. So it's okay to just be open to the process of, girl, let me see who's out here. True story. When I met my husband, I was online to have some fun. I had just moved back to Houston. I had just broken up with the guy and I was like, let me see who's out here. I haven't dated in Houston in a long time. Let me see who's out here. My intentions, my spirit, I was open to just the process. I was not attached to the outcome. And so many women are attached to the outcome versus let me see who I can be. Like the girls who are open and move around and just like, let me flow with it. Those ladies have more fun. And some of them get to their person just because they were open to the process instead of like, oh, well, if it ain't what I want, I don't want it at all. So there's that.
Wow. And it's so basically just being free. And look, I know, let me interject a little bit really quickly. And we're not talking about ladies going out being free like nilly-willy and around and, dealing with everybody, wait, am I frozen?
No, my camera went away for a second. Oh, wait, you are now.
Mine is frozen too. Hold on. What happened here? What about now? Am I still frozen? Can you hear me?
You're frozen, but we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So we're not just talking about, we're not talking about going around sleeping with men. Okay?
Not at all.
That's not what I'm saying. That. What she's saying is free, just being open, And so
meeting new people. Yeah, new conversations, meeting new people. Absolutely.
Tera, can you share with the ladies, how can they follow you? How can they stay connected to you? What's going on and what's coming up?
Yes. So they can always follow me on the socials. They can find me at Instagram, on Facebook, even on my website. Everything is one name, which is She Date Savvy. That's SHEDATESSAVVY. Definitely follow me on Instagram. There's always good information and tips and videos and things like that there. Because I know a lot of ladies have the challenge of what do I do with this online dating world? I do a masterclass. I have a masterclass coming up on Sunday, January 23rd. And so that's always a way for them to come and learn everything I know about online dating. I always tell people like, look, this is not some high level sales pitch. I'm giving you everything. Like I'm teaching you everything that I know. And so if you come in saying, I don't know what to do with online dating, you're gonna walk away saying, oh my goodness, I know what I'm doing. It's a class where ladies have come and applied the lessons and have gone on to actually meet their husband. So again, I'm giving you the goods. Of course, if you want to read my story, you can get a copy of my book on my website. But bigger than anything, just connect with me on social media so you can, it's almost like a vibe. Like I can only explain it. Once you're there, you get a true vibe for who I am, how I coach, how I lead, how I work. It's a really cool community of women. So that's how they can find me. And that's what I have going on right now.
Thank you, Tera. You have been a blessing.
This was a fun chat. Thank you for having me.
It was absolutely funny. You and I, we can talk for hours, but we're not.
I know.
Yep. Do that. So thank you all, ladies, for joining us, and I'll turn it back over to Lexi. Thank you again, Tera, for supporting us. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Sharon. Thank y'all. So. Thank you, Lauren. This was great. It was really nice being here. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you everyone for logging on. Tera, a huge thank you. Dr. Trayham, I think both of you guys had some really good input there. I say this every single week, but it's not stuff you can find online. If you want to know more, of course, go register for Tera's masterclass. I've been following her on Instagram since Dr. Trayham introduced me to her a couple months ago, but I love the Instagram. It's funny. It's good information like what you heard here today. Go check her out though. It's awesome. If you want to learn more about MMA, which is us, and we put together these events every month, every third, so sorry. We do these events every third Monday of each month at 2 p.m. and you can follow our Instagram and Facebook there. And we'll be posting about our February event that's coming up. You can find a place to donate on our website as well. We are a nonprofit 501c3, which means everything that we do is all possible because of your donations. And that's also what allows us to keep these events free, which is awesome. But thank you guys. If you have questions, comments, suggestions for this event, future events, our organization, anything at all, please shoot me an email. I put that in the chat as well. I would love to hear from you, your thoughts on this event. Like I said, any suggestions, anything at all. But thank you guys so much for logging on. Tera, thank you again. And hopefully we'll see y'all back here in February.
Awesome. Bye, everyone. Bye, Tera. Happy MLK. Make sure y'all honor the doctor.
Bye.